Hey everybody, Tal here with School of Ecom. Today we're going to be talking with Patrick Flores. Now, we cover a lot of things in this awesome talk. We talk about how he structures his team, how he's gotten over things like imposter syndrome, where he wants to be in 6 months, and the future of the marketing industry as a whole. So let's get right to it. Thanks for popping in here with me today. It's been a minute since we talked. It's been
Yeah, I
probably
think it's been
a
like
month or so
a
now.
month. Yeah, like a month right now.
How have things
Thank you
been
for
going
having
since
me.
then?
I appreciate it. It's been going actually pretty good. Um, I started reaching out a lot more, doing a lot more Loom videos. I know you said that that was something that had worked with you. So I started implementing it more and started getting a lot more answers. I've gotten a lot more calls too, and I've been able to find another client on top of the one that I have. So it's been pretty good month. October was fantastic for the person that I'm already working with. So yeah, it's been good. Thank you for asking. How about you?
Yeah, things have been going well for me. So with with the way this call today is, have you seen the School of Ecom YouTube channel?
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Okay, so yeah, we're doing like these mini interviews with me doing them, obviously not Jaime.
Right.
Just talking to people, seeing like what processes are working for them. Maybe you have something to share with somebody just starting out or something like that. So
Awesome,
yeah,
awesome.
we'll get into it. I'll just ask you some questions. We'll just have a conversation.
All right,
Really,
go
it can
right
go
ahead.
anywhere. We can talk about anything. It's just real casual, like. So yeah. I think what we should start off talking about, though, is you just said you closed another client this month. What,
Right.
you don't have to tell us who they are or anything, but like what sort of industry are they in?
It's a vegan like soap company.
Okay.
Basically, they sell like body products. Like it goes from oils to like soaps, and shampoos. But basically, yeah, it's a vegan soap company.
Awesome. What was the process like for you of hopping on that first call with them, or that first connection? To how long did it take you to get a call or make the sale?
Right. So I kind of like to do it in as many ways as I can. I know a lot of people like to give up on maybe the first try with a potential prospect, but basically I had found them on Instagram and I try to message the company's Instagram as well as messaging either the CEO or the marketing manager, just because I feel like usually the person that's running the Instagram, they're either going to respond to you or not. So it's like, might as well just take the chance and then actually speak with the person that I usually find like on LinkedIn or something. But whatever, I tried both of those methods and they both didn't work out. But when it came to the automatic sales funnel, I did get a response from the marketing manager. So uh, the thing about this one was that I actually did a past three audit. So I basically went ahead and just created a video audit and sent it to the email. I had found the email through Clearbit. And yeah, it worked out super well. They liked the information. I was lucky enough that they found it in their email and ended up reading it. But I think it's because like I've been split testing different subject lines, like different ways of opening the emails, different steps for the emails. But that's how I went down with that one.
It's really interesting. What made you decide to send that? Like, yeah, what made
And
you
the,
decide to send that path three?
well, I just know that there's a lot of value in the way that the program taught us to create a video audit. And I think if you kind of just have the confidence that this person might be able to be like you might be able to close this person. I don't know if this happens to you, but for some prospects, I could just feel like these people are more interested than these other prospects. So yeah, whenever I just feel that vibe and I see them interacting with me in a way that doesn't feel so like robotic, I think it's a good idea to just run it with pass three, give it an extra 7 minutes of my time and create that video audit for them and really give them that value.
That's awesome. Yeah. So how long has it been with them so far? You just onboarded them
Um,
recently, or?
Basically, like we're basically like just on the second week. So we've been doing like all the onboarding stuff, which in itself is like a really clean process, honestly. I think probably the most difficult part of the program is getting the people's attention. Because once you have them on a demo call or on a strategy session, I feel like it's pretty much a done deal if you come in with that confidence that I know this much about them, I know this is what I could provide for them, and if I could communicate this in a way that they understand and resonate with it, then it's going to be a close call, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Happy for you. And so
Thank
that
you.
puts you at 2 clients now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
Honestly, I wouldn't lie, it's taken me quite a while to get clients, but if I could say truthfully, it's because of my own limitations. Because once you really start implementing everything in the program the correct way and do it deliberately and with focus and kind of with the knowing that this works, I feel like results starts coming in a lot more quicker. Because when you have that doubt, or I think he mentioned this in the beginning of the program, it's like imposter syndrome. That for me was like one of the things that held me back the most. Just trying to like not act like this boss, but like portray this boss image to the person that's working with me, to the person that I'm working with, the client that's working with me, was something that I had to like take a step back and like reevaluate some personal stuff with myself to be able to implement it with the business.
Gotcha. So how is the dynamic like changed with your team at all? Like what was the mindset you had going into it versus now?
So I thought that I had to know more than my media buyer at first. I thought that in order to run a successful agency, you have to have gone through each and every like milestone, like done the Facebook ads yourself, like created the images yourself, created the ads yourself, managed them yourself. I thought that that was the way to go, but a couple like months with my media buyer that I've been working with the first client, I kind of realized that it's better if it's like a mutual growth, if both of you kind of have like this dynamic that I learned from you and you learn from me. Because at the beginning when I was trying to be like, oh, like I know it all, like come to me with questions, I'm not gonna ask you questions. It was definitely like every day I was stressed out, you know, like every day I was like, how am I gonna make this image up? So it changed in the way that like I now come in and it's just a genuine conversation, you know, it's not something that I'm like saying, does this sound right? Does this sound good? And I was just like, if I sound stupid or naive, whatever, that's fine. Like this is what we're here for. We're both here to grow our business together.
I think that is a very healthy way to look at it because I've done the same thing, especially when I first started. I wanted to appear knowledgeable about these things just because I felt it was the imposter syndrome, just like you're saying. That thing
Definitely.
is deadly at times.
It feels like you owe it to them almost, to like your media buyer to know all of this. But something that my media buyer told me, he was like, honestly, it's not even about the money. It's about the relationships you build with the people that you're working with. Because I've worked with different companies and I've made more money, but the relationship and the time we spent communicating with each other wasn't well. So at the end of the day, it just wasn't working out. And I find that that's been big. Like just actually having a cool relationship with my media buyer has made this like an easier process for sure.
Is this your first media buyer?
Yeah. Yeah, like I'm happy to say that, yeah, it's been the first one that I hired and we stuck through. It's been like 4 months now. So it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Do you think that, I mean, finding a really solid A player on your first time around, that's impressive. How do you think you came across this specific person?
Honestly, let's say like he's an A player in a sense of like what I consider to be an A player, that he's just really ready to learn and ready to like genuinely have a good relationship with people. He's super knowledgeable on his stuff. You know, he knows his stuff. He's been doing it for 5 to 6 years. So on that side, he's really good. But I think like finding the A player just comes with connection out of like naturally speaking with them. Of course, I went through the 3 interview process that Jaime shows us in our program. And it really helped with like figuring out these people, like the questions that you ask, even up like beforehand, like taking a step back in the series of questions that they have to answer. I feel like that really helped me with like picking out like the type of person that I want to be with, how they respond, and like that was basically like how I found him. And I was like, okay, he seems like the guy.
Yeah, I like everything you're saying. I agree with you so much. Like, I've gone through a few media buyers and people on my team, and at first I was prioritizing like previous perhaps experience over that connection, right? And I found like exactly what you're saying. Like that is an absolute must. You have to have someone who's on the same page as you.
Correct. Yeah.
So yeah.
I know the last time we spoke, you were telling me that you were interviewing other media buyers, right? Or
Yeah.
that it was just something that you do continually.
It is something I'm kind of have rolling, and like I just mentioned, I just today or yesterday I just brought on a new. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, brought on a new media buyer, and yeah, I'm stoked to hear that you have someone on your team who's solid, and I hope that relationship continues to develop for sure. So, would you say that when it comes to like just communicating with your clients, do you find yourself ever stressing about that, or is it pretty much you could disappear for a weekend, come back, and you're not? Are you worried about that aspect, I guess?
Honestly, I think one of the most solid parts of Jaime's program is the client experience. He's definitely set it up in a way that clients aren't going to have to be asking you for much. Honestly, with just that weekly Loom video, it's kind of something that they look forward to, and they just kind of like take in all in their information with that Loom video. So it's been pretty good, like communication wise. I think having it all in the same Slack channel, like everyone having their say in that channel, it's kind of like it's a lot easier when everything is held in one place and already like systemized to be presented in a certain way. Because then it's like you don't have to stress like, how am I gonna bring this? Is it gonna be through email, through text? Like, are we gonna have a call? When are we gonna have a call? They kind of have all the information. They want to take a look at the ads. They could go look at it in the ad playbook. They want to see what were the numbers for last week. They could go ahead and look inside that metrics and performance sheet and get all the information they need. So when it comes to communication with the clients, definitely it's been like an easy run.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm happy for you. So you're at 2 clients right now. You're still, working at another job. Let's say like 6 months from now, like what are you working on? Like 6 months from now, where do you see yourself at?
6 months from now, I definitely want to be feeling like I have a solid space in the marketing agency like world. I want to know that like I am providing a service that people are appreciating and are benefiting from. That's my biggest takeaway, because what I've learned is that kind of just going for just the money isn't enough. It doesn't push me enough. That's what I was running with in the beginning of the program. I was really searching for the money instead of thinking of what I could provide to get that money. So I guess like the problem with like searching for the money is that in searching for the money, there's the lack of money, because why else would you be searching for it? So then it's like you kind of have 2 different vibrations, 2 different thoughts that are kind of clashing with each other. So when you start focusing, for example, on the service and how you could provide that service, then the money just comes in.
Absolutely. Yeah. So 6 months from now, you see yourself providing an excellent service, a solid space in the industry.
Correct.
Is there anything else? Yeah, there may not be. I'm just curious.
I definitely want to start creating content. I know that in the program, a lot of people that start creating content and start listening to the advice given in the program, they really see a big change in the amount of calls that they could book. And it kind of makes a lot of sense to me that if in the next 6 months I've already not mastered, but gotten way better at creating content and I've built my agency, then I'm not only going to have a solid business when it comes to the agency, but I could have a solid presence online, and I'm sure we all know that your presence online in a few years is going to be all that you have. Like, given how technology is going everything eventually is going to be, hey, Alexa, like I want cupcakes. And Alexa's going to pop up the next three near you, but you want to be that person that's like, hey, Alexa, I want tall cupcakes. So like that online presence is something that I definitely want to reach. I want to be able to like have that sort of impact on people and like teach them different things and kind of, yeah, just be growing myself and growing with my agency, having all my family on check, having my own like apartment and stuff like that. All of those material things I definitely wanted, but the most thing that I want in 6 months is to really feel proud of everything that I've done previously.
That's a solid answer, man. You can ask that question to 10 different people and get 10 different responses. And a lot of people would say, talk about the material things. Like they want a new house or a new car, or the money. So very interesting. Here's another question for you. It's kind of off the beaten path here, but what do you think? Where do you think all this is taking us? All this technology, all the changes, the social media platforms. Like 10 years down the road, where are we going to be at as a species? Told you it's out there.
No, it's a really interesting question, and it's something that I get excited about because it's an interesting topic, especially us being in this world in which we are advertising online. You know, we as a whole, like our agencies has a really big effect on culture, on humanity, you know, like we are basically the driving force to what makes money online. So I think in the future, let's say 10 years from now, it's definitely going to be more or less what it is now, but just to an extreme. Definitely everybody is going to have a platform of some sort. And if you don't have a platform, it's going to be kind of difficult for you to be in this entrepreneurship phase. Like I know you've seen recently that so many people are entrepreneurs now, which I think is awesome, you know? But a lot of things that people aren't getting is that you need that online presence. And in 10 years, everyone's going to be stuck on the phone. I mean, that's where we all are now. We're either in our computer screen, on our phone screen, our tablet screen. And some people may say that's bad. Some people may say that's good. I just think that's where we're heading, you know? And it all depends on how you use this tool, because at the end of the day, it could either be a tool for you in 10 years or it could be using you in 10 years. It's just depends on your perception of what you want to do with what is around you at the moment. And definitely in 10 years, it's going to be everything online, everything digital. I don't really know much about crypto and stuff like that, but it's definitely something that people think it's going to be in the future, but I know that it's now, so that I could only imagine like what the future holds in 10 years.
You said something that I agree with, like marketing agencies, marketing is like the driving force for e-commerce, selling things online, making money. It's what really nowadays the internet is all about primarily, is e-commerce. So we as agencies, the entire industry has the ability to do good or bad. What do you think are important ways? Because I can see this going very, very badly just down the road with, you know, we have the ability as marketers, like you said, to literally affect one of the greatest platforms of all time, the internet, e-commerce. What do you think are some important things we need to be doing to ensure you've seen Black Mirror maybe? Or any of those?
Of course.
You know, okay, you know the episode where the ads won't play unless he's opened his eyes?
Yeah.
So how do we avoid that? That's what I want to know. What do you think is important to keep in mind, to keep what values do we need to focus on?
So here's the thing. I think not only marketers, but society as a whole has played into adding to the evil of what may be marketing or what may be like capitalism or settling or selling, just in the sense that, like, for example, the McDonald's workers, in order to make a living, is working at a minimum wage job where they're selling burgers that make the United States obese and adds to people having heart disease and cancer and like obesity. So in the same way that they're working unconsciously for something that is evil, I feel like marketers fall in the same category. And the thing that you could do as a marketer to prevent yourself from falling too deep into this is really working out of passion and out of something that you think would not only benefit the company, but may benefit society as a whole. Because at the end of the day, the only thing you have left is who you decide to work with and who you decide to support. And if you decide to support someone just because of the money of it, you need to take a step back and think, how does this play out in society and to the people that I'm trying to market this to? So I think what marketers could do is really work with people that they, one, have done their research on and can decide that they're a good or ethical brand. And two, just really be authentic with yourself. I believe people are good in nature, and I believe that we have good intentions. So if you really drive with that, I feel like you'll be able to, make a positive impact in culture.
Excellent points, man. Excellent points. So to kind of wrap this back around, if you could go back, when did you start your agency again?
About like 8 months ago, maybe like in the beginning of the year.
All right. So if you could go back to the beginning of the year and tell your younger self something, like what would you want yourself to know at that time?
There's many things, but when it comes to like the program and my agency, I guess what I would have told myself is that you need to deliberately focus. I think one of the things that we're all kind of like have been threatened by is the inability to focus. We have so many different notifications and so many things to look at a given day that personally my focus has been really hard to obtain and to stay there and like deliberately put in effort to something. So what I would tell myself is definitely make sure you're focusing on what you're doing, in the sense that like you can't focus on it 9 to 4 when you think this is the working period. You want to focus it every single day. You want to make sure that you're taking your time and going at it in a confident way, because you're only capable to your beliefs. You're definitely only capable to your beliefs. So if you're focusing in a lackful way, then those results are what you're going to get. But if you're focused in the knowing that this program works and this program has been used by successful people and has generated millions for people, like if you stick with that and you focus on that point and head forward, you'll be set. Like you really, really will be set, because the blueprint is there. It's not like before, like if you wanted to open a business before, let's say to sell t-shirts, you have to go to a mall, you have to find a realtor, you have to get 3 months down as a deposit, you have to find client workers. Now we could just get into Shopify and open a 30-day free trial. Like we have all the information that we need online in our fingertips. So it's not about the lack of information. I have the blueprint. I purchased this program because I know that this works. It's literally your belief. It's literally what you're focused on. Are you focusing on lack, or are you focusing on the definite possibility of you achieving this with this program? I kind of ran off there, but that's definitely what I'll tell myself.
No, that's good stuff. I would tell myself something similar, that focus is key. Sometimes you get discouraged, and like with any business journey, there's a lot of self-doubt. You'll have your highest highs and your lowest lows.
Correct. Definitely. Sure. And those lows are necessary. They're necessary because they're your pivoting points. And nothing is built out of straight success. Everything is built off of little mini failures that build you up to the person that you are tomorrow.
Solid stuff, Patrick. Solid stuff.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been a really great conversation. Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed, everybody. That was quite the talk with Patrick. Patrick, thank you so much for coming on. It was an excellent time talking to you. Looking forward to more great chats down the road. As always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you want to see next. Thanks.